So where do I stick this patch? Hey! Hey, ScouterStan! Patches! I collect them. A lot of leaders do. Patches, they are amazing, but they have specific places that they go on your uniform. Now the uniform is unique. The uniform, you can wear patches on your uniform for different things. In the past, and by the way, I'm going to put a little link up here. In the past, I had a video about uniform tells a story. It's true. You look at a uniform and you can tell what that leader has done, what they know, what they've learned, how much they can be of value to your unit. Something to keep in mind. So a uniform is really divided into 4 quadrants. Obviously, the left and the right sides, whatever, the left and right sides have a pocket on the front and a sleeve. And typically the right sleeve or the right pocket and the right sleeve and the right pocket and the left pocket and the left sleeve. Those are the 4 quadrants. Now I'm going to put up video. I'm going to put little things up here, diagrams, so that you can get an idea of what we are talking about. But before we get into where the patches go, the uniform inspection should always be done in any unit to be constructive. Okay, we don't need to single out individuals that have no real choice. When it comes down to Cub Scouts and even troops, the parents put the patches on. Okay, so it's not the youth. They didn't put it in the wrong spot. Somebody else did. So we need to be constructive and try to motivate and give them resources so that they can do it the right way before they have to move it around. Now, below, right down there, below is a inspection sheet for packs, troops, and crews. So definitely download that. It's right down there. You can do it. Just hit that button and download it. Give it out to all of the new parents that are going to the Scout shop or going online to get the uniform shirt and to make sure they put the right things in the right places. Now there's a lot of things out there like Patch Magic, which is a great little foam sticker type material. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it's Patch Magic is out there. You also have adhesives and cloth glues and hot glues and you name it. There's a lot of ways to get around sewing patches on, but you have to follow the instructions that comes with that material. Don't use stuff that's not meant for that. Okay, you can't just take a glue or adhesive or epoxy and expect that to hold a patch on. It might hold for the moment, but as soon as it goes through the wash, it's gone. Okay, so make sure that you use these things appropriately. And some patches, they never move. Once you got it on, it's on. Like a merit badge, once it's on the sash, it's on. It really doesn't leave. But some patches, like rank and all the other things that are involved in a troop, those things change as often as the wind. So you need a way to remove it and put on the new one as you go. So you need to have that involved, okay? Nothing beats needle and thread, nothing. Okay, everything is inferior compared to needle and thread. That's very easy to do, and I have seen scouts that have made the effort, and they didn't know any different. They used really thick thread. It almost looks like they lashed the patch on. Okay, so hey, they made the effort. Okay, and that's a critical thing. I even had a border review once with a scout whose patch, their rank patch, was literally upside down. Now, that's okay. Okay, I thought, at least he made the effort. He put on the last one and he went for the border review. And we're looking at that going, why is the patch upside down? And he said, well, I sewed it on in the car. He was wearing the shirt while he was sewing it on. So, at least he made the effort. And that's why you need to be constructive, okay? And since it was sewed on, it was easy to basically cut it loose and then put it the right way around and sew it on correctly. That was all a part of being able to sew it on. Now let's talk a little bit about the 4 quadrants of where things go. Now, we're not going to talk about the history of Scout patches, but just keep this in mind. No matter what the patch is, if it's appropriate for that position, that there's no such thing as it being discontinued. Okay, there's just a matter of using the patch appropriately, and it needs to be in the right spot. Now let's take a look at the right pocket. The right pocket typically, it has in the very middle of the pocket has what they call a temporary insignia. This is where you would put things like district camporee patches. A lot of times these would be on a dangle. As you can see here, this actually has a string that's been sewn in to the top so that it can be dangled down below. Now, a lot of times these will flip over. So you need to make sure if you're taking pictures or something that they're not flipped over. So they're temporary. That's a temporary place. Right above that, the flap is really where the OA flap goes. Right above that is the insignia. Now the insignia is Scouts BSA, or it could be Boy Scouts of America. It could be any different ones. That's usually a patch or embroider that is actually part of the shirt when you get it. So that you really don't have to worry about. That's part of the shirt. Now typically before, just above that would be any kind of interpreter strip, a venture strip. Okay, that's venture patrols are still around, so you might have a venture strip that would go there. And then above that would be your nameplate. Now, if none of that, the nameplate would be right above the insignia. Now, at the very bottom of the right pocket, there's a space reserved for the recruiter implement. Now, the recruiter position is a great thing that you need to promote within your unit. Very important. Now, in my district where I'm at, our membership team quite simply says that you can wear that after you have signed up 1,000 scouts. So that's something to look for. Adults are allowed to wear it if in our district, in our council, we're allowed to wear it if we've signed up 1,000. Okay, and it takes years. Okay, but if you're in membership, you should be a recruiter. So that's kind of the whole right pocket of where things go. Now let's look at the left pocket. The left pocket for leaders, the actual pocket area, is reserved for youth to put their rank. Adult leaders do not have rank that they put there. That is left blank in respect to the youth. The youth get to use that space. That space is where their first class, their scout, eagle, all of those ranks are placed. At the very bottom of that pocket on the left side is the arrow of light. If they've received the arrow of light, that's where it would go. Now, with that in mind, on the very top of the pocket, not the flap, but the very top area is where square knots would be put. Youth can earn the religious award, which comes as a square knot, and that can be worn at the very top. Now, adults will put all of their square knots there, typically no more than 3 rows of 3. So the knots that are there are usually placed right above the pocket. Now, right above that is where they would put service stars. And then just a few inches above that is the WAMU, the World Scouting Movement blue logoed patch would go. And then there's different rings that you can put around them. That is optional. So that goes right above. It's to remind scouts that they are a part of a world organization. Okay, well, since we're on the left side of the uniform, let's go ahead and talk about the sleeve, the left sleeve. The left sleeve at the very top seam of the sleeve is where your council strip or your council patch would go. Now, there are councils that have different shapes, but most of them are in the chevron shape that goes right at the top edge. Right below that would be a veteran, or there could be founder. That could actually be right below that, and that's right above the number of the unit. And the numbered unit depends on if it's Cub Scouts or troop or crew. The color will be different, so that's important. Then right below that would be your position. Whatever position you're with. If you're with, say for instance, you're an adult leader and you're a scoutmaster of a troop, that would be the position patch. And just below that would be the trained patch. Now, the only time the trained patch wouldn't be there is if there's a pocket. Some uniforms have a small pocket on the sleeve. The pocket itself would have the position patch, and on the flap of the pocket would be the train strip. So it would actually go. If you go further down that side, there is awards that can actually be put on there. The Arrowhead Award, which is a commissioner's award, can also be worn in that area. Okay, now on the other side, the right sleeve should be the American flag. Now that comes with your uniform. It may be, I've seen where this might be embroidered directly into the fabric. So it may not be a patch. Some of them have patches, some of them are embroidered in. But the American flag, like it was back on the left sleeve with the council strip, should already be there on the right side. Right below that would be your patrol. Now, your patrol can have different awards, and they will go around that. So this whole identity on this side says that you're an American Scout. Right below that, you would have whatever patrol you're with, and then you would have your unit award. Okay? So those are the three things that would be in that space. So as far as the 4 quadrants of the uniform, that's where things go. If in doubt, ask other leaders. So that way they can help you get more out of the uniform. Now, the right pocket area, as you go even further up, you might even have things like World Jamboree, you may have other insignia up there. I know for OA, when you go to NOAC, which is like the Jamboree for the Order of the Arrow, they wear something up there too. So there are exceptions, but they will let you know. So that's generally where things go on a uniform. And for adults, we need to be cooperative with one another and work out uniform inspection and be constructive with it. Don't try to put someone down, okay? Believe me, if you have earned 20 knots, I don't mind if it goes all the way to your shoulder. You've earned it, okay? So, if you've earned that stuff, I believe you should wear it, because not wearing it is not being trustworthy, because you're not telling the whole story, okay? And that's what a uniform does. Keeping that in mind, I know you do a great job. Please keep up the hard work. And you know what? I will see you on the trail.